Our meeting to order. We have our invocation and pledge of allegiance by Councilman Nick Shealy.
Dear Lord, I thank you for everything and everyone in this meeting. I thank you for allowing us to be here so that we can better ourselves financially and practically in your kingdom. I pray that we discuss things, we remain on guard, standing firm in our faith in you, while being strong and courageous. I pray that we do not become easily distracted from the plans we aim to carry out. It is in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. It's always a blessing to see each of you. Item number one on our agenda is public appearances, and the first one is Miss Michelle Long with the Chamber of Commerce.
Got a little PowerPoint to go along with it. Thanks for having me. And so first I want you to just take notice of our logo. Hopefully it is representative of some of the things that we support in our area. Of course, we have iconic community hall there in the middle. It's flanked on the left by the small businesses, and then on the right by the large businesses, our larger industries, and that rests on our sea of various greens, which represents our various agricultural resources throughout the county. So we hope that message gets across, whether subliminally or otherwise. And of course, our tagline is building business and connecting commerce. And that is because our mission, and that's really small, but it's to promote a positive business environment and to enhance the quality of life in Newberry County by supporting the state and county economic development efforts while meeting the needs of our communities and members. So how do we do that? First of all, of course, being in the community hall there for as long as probably most of you, if not all of you, can remember, it has been a visitor center, so we continue to have that and provide local information from throughout the county for all of our visitors. We answer lots of phone calls. We have a website that also helps answer some of those questions for our folks coming in and residents as well. We still have the public restrooms, which people come through and use quite frequently and appreciate that. But we have a TV that is in the lounge, which scrolls through all kind of community information for folks. So that helps get the word out, along with our weekly newsletter. But some of the things that we offer for our member businesses are business after hours. Those are networking socials that are held pretty frequently, getting back that way since that big C word that had us all floored for a while. But we also celebrate our businesses through ribbon cuttings for grand openings, any relocations, and any expansion projects. We help educate our folks through different workshops, business over breakfast. We have mayoral breakfast, legislative breakfast, like to keep folks up to date, and any other things that's coming down the pike. We like to stay ahead of the game, whether it's insurance changes, workers' comp changes, anything like that. One thing we've got coming up at 1 week, if anybody plays golf, we'd love to have you on the golf course, Country Club in Newberry. That's one of our fundraisers, and various industries and businesses get out there and play a little bit. That's not for me. Putt-putt is more my style, but we'll have some folks out there. I'll be driving a cart, taking pictures. That's what I'll be doing. So some of the things, tourism and community related, we of course have our Grow Newberry Farmers Market and art. We've incorporated a lot of art type things in there because we have a lot of local craftsmanship in the area. So we like to promote that. We've got 2 more for the year, and then we'll take a break and resume probably in April. We promote the Ag and Art Tour. That's a program that happens throughout the state through Clemson University. And we've been participating in Newberry County since 2017. And that's a way to promote our local artists as well as our local agricultural producers. We always look for ways to collaborate with others, not compete. We never want to take away from what other folks are doing, but we want to fill a niche or complement something that they're doing. So one of the things we participate in with the city of Newberry is provide the beverage wagon for Pork in the Park. It's also a fundraiser for us. Throughout Christmas, we do our very popular Santa's Workshop and Storytime with Miss Claus. That's popular with the kids, and we have lots of little elves that come through and help with those kids, and those are held on the nights of the city's North Pole Nights. Our annual Christmas tour homes, where we highlight some of the typically 4 homes. That's what we have this year, a church, and we'll have a wine and cheese afterwards throughout the evening. December 10th, if anybody is interested, or if you know anybody's homes that might be nice to be on the tour in the future, Liz would be very appreciative. That's her baby. Love to have you come out for that. Some of the co-sponsored programs and events that we do is a career showcase. You might have remember it before being called the Business and Industry Showcase. This is Newberry and Lawrence County's 8th graders come through and see different clusters of businesses that are just jobs that are offered. It's not a job fair, but it's just educating the kids on some of the things that are out there in the different industries. Rick Farmer with Economic Development. This is something the economic development of both counties, the chambers, the school districts, Piedmont Tech, a couple other folks work together to make this happen. Coming up on November 1st, junior leadership aimed towards the juniors and seniors in the county. That's one of the programs that is a short version just to introduce the kids to some of the different things that are going on throughout the county, whether it's government, public speaking, some of those soft skills, interaction things that sometimes need to be worked on these days. Take them on industry tours and showcase some of the highlights around the area. Job fairs, that's something else that works far better when you work together with other entities to make it happen. You can reach more people and make it bigger and better. Now, some of the chamber-specific programs, might remember we started junior leadership Newberry County for adults, and we still have our class 3 to finish. Mr. Nick there is in that particular class. He would be our 3rd graduating class, and we've got 3 more classes to go with that. And then we'll start yet another class in 2023. And that's a 9-month commitment. So that's a pretty big deal, and something that a lot of area chambers do that is very beneficial to build up our leadership in the area. Our Newberry County Young Professionals are age 21 through 40, living in or working in the area. They are primarily for social and professional networking, but they also give back to the community through their Hugs Drive, which is going on now. That stands for hats, underwear, gloves, and socks of all sizes. They work with the school district to distribute those and to other areas of need. They also have some little free pantries. They have worked with the Career Center, and they're building 2 additional ones at present to be distributed throughout the area. That's just some of their other events. They've got a holiday event coming up. You guys will receive an invitation for that. Hopefully you can stop by after the tree lighting ceremony. be on the lookout for our 4 under 40 nominations. We will be having those distributed through various avenues, so nominate some of those young folks under 40 that are really making a big dent in our communities. All right, what we look forward to in '23. If you remember, in 2019, we did a Newberry on Board. It was a nonprofit board training, and it was well received. The idea we'll do that we would do it every other year. Well, guess what? We couldn't do it 2 years after that. So we'll be back on board with Newberry on Board in the first quarter of '23. We'll be working with Newberry College again for that, and a civic engagement, which will be a collaborative project with at least the city and the college, and that's going to be in the spring of '23. And that'll be more towards just telling people what's available, because all the towns and counties, we have commissions, and not just your positions, but commissions and other task force type things, and just letting them know what's out there, how to get the information, and what's involved. We do have a weekly newsletter. Hopefully, you're signed up for it. If not, we can take care of that, so you can get that news. Follow us on various sources of social media. And as always, we promote shopping, eating, and supporting local. So, I thank you all. Any questions?
Thank you very much for that. Any questions from council?
No, just a comment. Michelle, you've done a wonderful job since you've taken over that position. I know it's been some years of nurturing, but a lot of involvement going on with the community. And again, thank you for everything and all the effort you put. I know it doesn't just happen, so I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. We appreciate our volunteers and appreciate the support that you all give. And most of you have my cell number. If you need anything, just love to have you over and sit down and talk about more detail with what we got going on. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item number 2 on the agenda is the adoption of the consent agenda, which is the Newberry County Council meeting of minutes of September 21st, same council meeting minutes of October 5th, the Finance Committee meeting of September 12th, and the Economic Development meeting on August 15th. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Shealy. Is there a discussion? Second by Mr. Reeder. Is there a discussion? Hearing none, all in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. The motion carries unanimously. Next on our agenda is, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda for tonight? Hearing none, is there a motion we adopt the agenda as published? Motion by Ms. Airwood, second by Mr. Scurry. Is there a discussion? All in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. Carries unanimously. Item number 4 on the agenda is ordinance number 09212022, which is an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a fee agreement by and between Newberry County, South Carolina, and Newberry PV1 LLC, providing for a payment of fee in lieu of taxes, providing special source revenue credits, and authorizing an amendment to the master agreement governing the Greenwood Newberry Industrial Park to provide for the addition of property and other matters related thereto. This is the public hearing. I understand that there are some logistics to still be worked out for final reading, so this will only be the public hearing. The public hearing we now declare open. Mr. William Richardson has signed up to speak for that. Did you want to speak to this amendment or just to public comments? Okay. I didn't think this was you, but so, is there anyone here to speak on this for public hearing related to this ordinance for the public hearing? Hearing no one, unless there's an exception from the council, I would declare the public hearing closed. Hearing none, is there a motion that we then close the public hearing? Motion by Mr. Hipp, second by Mr. Shealy. All in favor by show of hands. It's now closed. All right, item number 5 on our agenda is approval of the test pump water tanks at the public safety facility by Mr. Tommy Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met with the executive committee and presented this
project, we're in the process of putting some underground tanks to do our pump testing for our fire trucks at the training facility. And when this property was given to the fire board to use for a training facility, it was in the minutes that we have to present any large projects that we plan to do. So I've got a sketch up there, and the committee members already have seen this, and y'all probably have seen it before, but this is kind of some of the props we are in the process of getting built out there. Where you see the pump testing facility right there where the rectangles are at, it's actually going to be up closer to the gravel road, so we don't have to have as much gravel brought in to put our circle drive in. We actually already have the tanks that will be put underground, and I'm not sure if y'all got this in your packet tonight, but here's a, this is not the exact same thing, but this is going to the center of this.
Yeah.
And this can be, any tanks going that way in the packet.
Yeah.
And so basically what it is, it's gonna hold 2,000 gallons of water in each tank, and we'll be able to test 2 trucks at one time. It'll also be used throughout the year for various other pump training as well. So I'm basically here tonight to get approval to move forward with putting that prop in. And I can answer any questions you may have. It does not have to be approved by DHEC because it's not containing wastewater.
Can you just go ahead and explain how it's going to be purchased?
How it's gonna be purchased?
Yes.
Okay, well, I've already got the tanks purchased, and we have some funding that we had allocated to do some things out at the training grounds, and those have already been purchased, and we have a contractor. He's actually a volunteer firefighter that's going to do the install for us, Mr. Works. He's the chief at Friendly. He's already a vendor with the county. He does that kind of work, and he's gonna be doing the install for us at a reduced price.
I know there were some concerns with last time about the site and what all was going to be available for out there if this 1 cent sales tax, we certainly hope passes later on. Can you address that for us so we can answer our constituents to that?
As concerns for the station that's going out there,
Yes.
it will be going actually where you see driver training on the map there. That's where the station is proposed to be, in that area on that side. So the props will be on the other opposite side of the land.
Okay.
If that answers your question.
Yes, it
Okay.
does. I need to have an answer for that question.
Right. Because
On that
actually,
same-
in that same project, we also have the driver training pad included in that project.
Okay.
So that's where it will be, similar to where it's shown on the picture there.
Okay. Mr.
One other thing that I've heard several people comment to in the volunteer and rescue squad, et cetera, about the impact that us letting those buildings be used for storage. Can you tell us if that's going to negatively impact y'all, Tommy? I just want to be out in public.
I don't foresee it negatively impacting us. Actually, we've already got the tenant actually already put his product in that front building. I think, and overall, it's going to actually help us get some other things built out there quicker because we're going to be able to utilize some of that rent funding for that. And I've already working on doing some things out there, like painting the bathroom building and doing some underground wiring, getting some of the overhead wiring underground. So I think it's going to benefit us in the long run.
Okay, there's concern. I just wanted to be
We
clear.
addressed that in the last board meeting, so I think we've got those answers taken care of from probably the ones that had those concerns.
Any other questions of Tommy? Hearing none, is there a motion that we approve the water tank installation at the public safety facility? A motion by Mr. Shealy, second by Ms. Airwood. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise, it carries unanimously. Thank you, Tommy. Item number 6 on our agenda is the acceptance of vendor for the closed landfill monitoring and testing. Lovely Crystal Waters already at the podium.
Yeah. Thank you. We solicited statements of qualifications for the DHEC mandated testing and monitoring for the closed landfill. There were 5 responses from 5 from Alliance Consulting Engineers, Rogers and Calcutt, Smith and Gardner, S&ME, and Centera. And of those, they were evaluated individually by the five of the, I think it was five members of the committee. And they were evaluated based on the criteria that was set forth in the request for qualification statement. The highest ranked firm is from Rogers and Calcutt. Staff does recommend the highest ranked firm, and it is only a recommendation. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer those.
How did they compare price-wise?
Not all of them submitted pricing
I got you.
because it's not what a request for qualifications is. It's
Okay.
based solely on experience and what they present in their response. The firm Rogers and Calcutt, who has done it before, they did present us with a cost of $55,000. There was another firm, I think was Centera, who submitted hourly rates. The others did not submit a cost at all.
Are there other questions?
I've got several questions on this one. Ability to meet budget requirements, 25 points. The one that we are actually supposed to select tonight is $5,000 over budget. If the others didn't, how could that criteria, that rubric even be considered?
The response, the criteria that we were asking them to respond on is based on their experience with previous engagements with other vendors or counties or whomever they did business with. It's more or less their answer to giving us their best work and whether or not they met budget within those previous clients. These scores are based individually. We did not meet and talk about them before we scored the responses. So each individual of the committee did do this on their own.
And again, the numbers just don't add up. When you go to proximity of firm to the plant, to Newberry, you've got a person that is Columbia-based, got a 7 for the rating, got a 9 for Greenville, one from Raleigh got an 8, 7, one that's in Columbia got a 10, and one that's in Columbia got a 7, and it's just all over the place with the rubric. So anyway.
And again, the people that were on the committee, which was myself, Karen Brummer, Ron Powell, and Mike Pisano, who is the overseer of this particular property, if you will, for the landfill. We just do them differently. It's,
Well,
I
just-
guess, based on what they feel would be a fair number to be close to Newberry County. The highest would be a 10.
Well, one particular person that had a 7 for one in Columbia and a 10 for one in Columbia, a 9 for one in Greenville, and a 6 for one in Greenville. So I just don't see how the numbers, same town with different numbers. I just-
Understand.
And that's the same person. So, and again, it's not uncommon. Here's one that's got the Greenville one at 8 and one Greenville one at 5. The Centera's 5 and Roger and Calcutt 8. Like I say, when you go to looking at the numbers, and the rubric just does not quite make sense, but maybe it's just because I'm
Perhaps
slack.
we can remove that the next time we evaluate that particular criteria.
If Mr. Livingston's through, I do have a question as well, Crystal. I think you said you had 55,000 from Rogers and Calicut, which was 5,000 over budget. But if we don't have any price from the others, how do we know that
Their
they're...
price was not based on that $55,000. It was based on their response from previous engagements, and how well they met their budget with those engagements.
So again, I guess my question is, what is our confidence or what is our control factor to make sure whoever we choose will meet our budget?
They've given that price in their response. We can go back and negotiate with them once council makes the decision to negotiate with the highest ranked firm. I know Mike only has $50,000 in the budget, but I think we've paid at least that much now. That's what's in the current budget. Rogers and Calcutt has done it before, and it was less than what it is now, but with things, and I understand how things increase, we can negotiate with them to see if we can get it within budget. We know that they can perform, they've done it before.
So I'm still not getting a warm and fuzzy feeling about, even though this is a request for qualification, that you pick any of these others that didn't give a price quotation, that if we selected another one, that they would be able to provide the service for less, or that the service would cost more. So I guess I'm just a little confused as to why.
It is known now that what Rogers and Calcutt's price is, so technically everybody knows what their price would be. So obviously anybody that you go to is gonna try to come under that amount.
So, again, why didn't we ask for a price from everybody? We got a price
I
from
did
one.
ask for pricing.
You-
But that's not that's not the only factor in evaluating a request for qualification.
I know, but it is a factor.
It is
And you did not get a price from anybody but them?
not a lump sum price, no. We got pricing per hour from one other vendor or firm,
And that was the Centera.
Centera.
And the other ones gave no price.
No, they didn't.
And was the price, how could, I thought and so I'm just running back through my mind. I'm not questioning, I doubt myself a lot. I thought you said it was a qualification request, so we didn't ask for pricing, but you did ask for pricing.
It was in there that we requested a cost proposal
I
from them.
got you. Okay, all right. No, I just misunderstood.
It doesn't.
I do that well.
It doesn't disqualify them because that's not the only factor, and it's not listed on the evaluation. I think in the past, in doing business with Rogers and Calcutt, we knew that they were capable of doing the work. At least you're evaluating them based on paper and what they present to you.
What are the wishes of council?
Would it be possible to get pricing from the other ones? I mean,
We can certainly ask them.
and make, I mean, I would say that they're probably somewhat qualified, but
Yeah.
at least ask them what their cost would be.
A not to exceed amount, or since the budget's $50,000?
I
I mean,
don't know
is
that I
that-
would stipulate, because if they were,
Because
Definitely, if they were
everybody's
above
hourly rates are
55.
different. They're
Yeah.
not all gonna be the same amount.
This meeting is public. Anybody could actually go back and look at it at this point.
Yeah, they'll be able to see.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
they can all underbid what we
Yeah.
got now, which isn't really fair.
I think in my mind, what I was thinking out loud, and my mind works in crazy ways, is just rebid it and make cost a factor in the scoring. That way, that gives everybody a shot at it.
It wasn't.
It was not. She said it was not a factor, and I don't know why we'd do a project where cost wasn't a factor.
Because they're engineers.
Yeah, but it's still. I mean, we still got to pay them.
I agree.
Wow, that would give the one we're talking about a chance to improve their bid.
Yeah, if they wanted to refigure, they could certainly do it at that point. To give them at least a little
They
bit
would know they
more.
would have to at this point.
Yeah, they would give them a fairer bite at the apple than letting everybody else hear their number and then turn around and let them underbid it. If we just put it back out and let everybody have another shot at it.
Or just use these that have submitted.
Yes.
Yes.
You have them to
Yes.
rebid it with pricing included. I think that would be.
Not
my-
hourly rates either.
Yeah. That'd be now I'm talking out loud. We're not voting on anything yet, so.
I would feel more comfortable knowing each one's pricing.
Okay.
What do y'all think?
Absolutely. You know, it's kind of hard to select one bidder, and then we only have one price.
Right.
So
I mean,
when
it
we,
turns out that the bidder we're selecting gave the price, but we have no idea if the others are all qualified.
Right.
Then price becomes a very
Very.
objective criteria.
Yes.
What about time? What's our time requirement on this? How quickly do we need this contract in place?
I'm not sure exactly about that because Mike is, and maybe Karen are, I know there's quarterly reports that are due to DHEC as well as monthly reports. And I don't know when the last time that the
Well,
current.
when does this contract begin?
It began probably not last year, but the year before because of COVID.
No. When we award this bid to
It
someone.
would be January.
It would be January, so we do have some time. We have a contract in place until January.
I believe so. If she's going to get the contract, we'll verify that.
Excuse me, say it's over budgeted, but it's through 2 fiscal years.
It is.
So it could not be over budgeted for the fiscal year.
That's right.
Okay.
The way DHEC's reports require them to submit are January through December, which does obviously cross over fiscal years. It's always been that way.
So we could go back out to all the bidders and request a firm price.
And have that be part of the evaluation process? Would somebody make a motion to that effect? Mr. Hipp makes a motion that we go back out to those who have already submitted. You don't have to reopen it back. Those who had submitted, get price and have that be part of the consideration process. Is there a second to that motion? Second by Mr. Shealy. Is there discussion? All in favor by show of hands, opposed likewise.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Crystal. Item number 7 on our agenda is appointments. Are there any appointments? I do. She's like, you do. Thank you for looking out for me. Miss Linda Bullard, who was the longtime librarian at Whitmire, who then served on as our representative from District 1 to the library board, has had to resign her position. Her husband has had some serious medical issues, and she has to take care of him. And so I first commend Miss Bullard. I don't know if she's watching this evening, but we certainly commend her for her years of service to the library in various forms. And having said that, I would like to appoint Miss Laverne Brock. Miss Laverne Brock is a longtime educator in the Whitmire area. She teaches English literature, has a steep background and a love for it and a love for kids, and I just know she will do an outstanding job. And so it's my pleasure to nominate her as my appointee to the Newberry County Library Board.
It will be an honor to second.
To know her is to love her, right?
Absolutely.
All right, there's a second. Is there discussion about Ms. Laverne? I got Travis over here grinning too. All my school district
She's a
folks
great
love her.
one.
Yes. All in favor by show of hands? Opposed likewise, it carries unanimously. Anybody else with an appointment? Hearing none, public comments. Mr. Richardson, now it's your turn. Nothing at the moment, okay. William Richardson, well, I don't know who that is. All I know is Barry back there, my favorite retired telephone guy. All right, that sounds good. So no public comments. We have the executive session now under Code Section 30-4-70A under the South Carolina Code of Laws as amended. And this is for discussion of negotiations instance to propose contractual arrangements and purchase or sale of property related to Pond Road. Is there a motion that we go into executive session?
Yes.
Motion by Mr. Reader. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Hipp. Any discussion? All in favor by show of hands? Opposed likewise? We move into executive session. I hope we will not be long. County Council met in executive session for the reasons set forth in the motion to go into executive session. No action was taken during executive session. Is there a motion by a member of council based on our discussions in executive session?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that the county surplus property known as Pond Road or Pond Lane, in accordance with our surplus procedures, and put that out for disposal.
Okay, is there a second? Second by Mr. Shealy. Is there discussion? All in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. Carries unanimously. Any comments from the request from the county administrator? All right, comments or requests from council. Mr. Shealy,
No comment.
Mr. Livingston,
Nothing.
Ms. Airwood,
Nothing.
Mr. Reverend Scurry,
None, Your Honor.
Reverend, might well be a Reverend, Mr. Reader.
None.
Okay, Mr. Hill.
None.
I would just like to at least, if we could explore, I think it would be really nice if we had a confidence monitor in the back of the room for when they're doing the PowerPoints and stuff, instead of having to turn around and lose focus on who's speaking to us. That way we could keep those people in focus and be able to look at what's going on as well. I'm just, as a speaker, I'm used to the term confidence monitor, so I don't know what you call it, but something back there would be nice for us to look that way and see, other than what's back there now.
Major Dennis Curry, but not that heard.
We can look at that. I'm not saying do it, but I think it would be a nice feature to have for us, because we have to flip and turn our heads and everything else. So I think it would be nice. Future meetings, public safety meeting on October 24th, county council meeting November 2nd, delinquent tax sale November 7th, council retreat on November 14th, and county council meeting on November 16th. Is there a motion that we adjourn? Motion by Mr. Shealy, second by Mr. Hipp. All in favor by show of hands. We stand adjourned.